This is the second part of this lesson number 1, and we are going to play a couple of demonstrations and experiments that Chef Nona and I conducted to evaluate this equation. On the left-hand side is the pressure and the volume, and on the right-hand side is the temperature, and we are going to try and balance those and see what happens when we increase the temperature, keep the volume constant, and the pressure should go up.
Go.
Now the relationship, as we discussed, between temperature and pressure and volume. Volume is not going to change. As I increase the temperature by turning on the burner, it will cause the water to get warm, expand into a gas. Gas has no place to go. It'll increase pressure and go into the glove. Let's see if that happens. It looks like the glove is moving. I think the water is being changed to gas. The gas is expanding. It can't go out of the bottle and it's going into the glove. My goodness. I wonder how large a glove that will be. Principle is correct. Let's see if we can extract some work out of this particular process. I've got a little engine here, and we'll move it in and see if we can get it running. Now the steam is expanding, running our little engine, and a little engine could run a manufacturing facility, a mill, or even a generator. Or a train. Well, I hope you liked those videos. Now we have the engine, we have a cart, we've got the wheel, and now we just need to put those all together. Now this is the engine we talked about the other day. And you can see that we now have the wheels and the axle, and we've got a fire, either coal or wood. We've got a great big tank like we had the bottle full of water. We're heating it up, and the water is going into steam and going down this particular tube into the cylinders. The cylinders are running the wheels, and away we go. So we've been able to go from water to changes of states to steam engines and chugging down the road. This is another example. This is just a general steam power plant where the steam will come down from the inside from someplace. It can be any kind of heating system, even nuclear power, coal, water, whatever, or diesel fuel, down into here and turning the turbines, just like we did in our demonstrations in our laboratory. This is a giant steam plant, very similar, as I mentioned yesterday, to some of them that are in some of our towns. A big plant with coal, unfortunately, diesel fuel, which still makes a lot of environmental problems, and producing steam, as does a nuclear power plant. The steam goes into those turbines right in here. It turns those turbines, that goes into a generator and sends electricity all over the state. Oh! My goodness! What's going on there? Well, I guess it's time to leave. Let's look at what we're going to talk about in the next lecture. This is the next lecture, and we're going to talk about work. What is work? How do you measure that? We're going to talk about the energy and energy conversions and how we can take energy like the heat from that stove and convert it into some other part of energy like steam power. We're going to talk about simple machines, which should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of machines that you use all the time that are simple machines, and I might just introduce a rocket while we're there as well. Here's the homework for lesson 1 rather. I will send you this email because you probably can't see it there, but maybe you can. It's a test, and I want you to work on it and get as much help as you can for anybody that you want to ask. The first one is, I'd like you to name as many animals as you can that humans have ridden and that they learned to ride on. Then, secondly, I'd like you to give some examples of the use of the wheel and the axle, the systems together, like a doorknob that's got a wheel and an axle on it. And there's probably some other ones you can think of and you can ask as well. And then third, I'd like you to tell me what matter is. What's it made of? We discussed it in the lecture. And then what are the states, the 3 states of matter? We covered those in detail. And also, what are the 3 states of matter of water? What is that called for? And then there are several scales that we use for measuring temperature. There's a bunch of them, but there's 3 main ones that we use all the time. And I want you to tell me what those are. There's 2 of them, and I gave you a little hint there. One starts with a C and one starts with an F. And now there's one math problem, and I've got that on the bottom there. I don't expect you to do that, but I expect you to go get some help, because we're going to use this equation in lesson number 2. And it is 9 divided by 5. And when you get that answer, you multiply that times 20. And when you get that answer, you add 32, and you get the big answer. And then, next time when we start, I'll tell you what that is. So, well, that's the end of lesson number 1. I hope you were able to stay awake. We talked about the walking, and we had our gorgeous assistant helping me out there with that, and carrying all those packages and pulling those loads and everything else like that. She did a wonderful job. And we talked about the wheel and the axle, tremendous invention. And then we talked about water and the heat source for our steam engines. And we talked about the states of matter, on how we can get that water converted into steam to produce our power. And the steam going into a cylinder with the pressure that was exerted on it from the energy from the heating. And then we talked about how we can apply all those things and look at other applications, such as steam plants, locomotives, things of that nature. And we'll go on from there. So, look forward to seeing you the next time. Okay, closing the door now. You have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.